Good morning, everyone. It is 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019. 36 degrees outside. Shane Montalban, half man, half amazing, on the line. And where are you?
I'm in the loops.
How come I can hear you on Skype?
Because I'm so close to a router that it's almost touching me.
Okay. Well, stay in that room then.
I'm in a skiff.
Whenever you travel up there, we always have a problem getting you.
Yeah, well, I'm in a skiff, so I'm covered.
Okay, good deal. All right. Tom Migaloff, your morning mayor in the house, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We're happy to have you along with us. Thanks for taking us along with you on your morning, and it is Monday, and oh my God, another I can't see the end of the week, Shane. It's too far away.
Well, that's because there's going to be so much news to cover. We know how busy it's going to be.
Well, I hope so. I don't know, man. Well, let's take a quick look at our Gallup Valley weather. 45 is going to be our high today. It's a little cool for May, but we'll live with it. 35 will be the overnight low. And, of course, we got showers. Afternoon showers are predicted. And then Tuesday, high of 47, low of 34, and cloudy, less than an inch of precip predicted. And then Wednesday, we get a mixture of rain and snow. 44 will be the high, 36 the overnight low, and we'll be getting some rain, possibly mixed snow for your commute in the morning, 5 to 7 a.m. On Wednesday. Then the rain tapers off a little bit, gives us a little bit of a break on Thursday, but still some afternoon showers. 46 will be the high. 36 will be the overnight low, and then moving into the weekend on Friday, we'll have a high of 55 and a low of 36, partly cloudy. Still rain in the forecast all the way through the weekend, afternoon showers through Saturday and Sunday, and all the way till the end of the month, actually. So It's going to be wet. Wet and wet,
yeah,
and
wet
and more
pretty typical
wet.
May.
Yeah. Temperatures around the area right now: Livingston's 36 degrees, Manhattan is 37, Three Forks is 40 degrees, and Gallatin Gateway is 34. Ennis is 34 degrees right now. Gardner 35. Big Sky is 30. And at the airport in Belgrade, it is 36 degrees and cloudy. Downtown at our studios here, it is also 36 and cloudy at 8 minutes after the hour. So that'll bring you up to speed on your local weather for the next few days. And on this date in history, Shane, all kinds of things happened as usual. 1861, North Carolina voted to secede from the Union as the Civil War took shape and began.
And it's an amazing place. I mean, we like to talk about these things. Obviously, it's ranked in area as the 28th largest state in the United States. Total population is about 10.3 million today, ranked ninth in population. And the median household in the state today is $52,000. And before statehood, which was November 21st, 1789, so that's almost 80 years before the Civil War, it was part of the Confederation and the Assembly for the Constitution. They have 2 senators, of course, and 8 members of the House. They have a large House delegation because of their population.
Right, yeah.
So
and that's why they're a swing state in many cases for these elections, that
that's right.
They have the population to, and the electoral votes, of course.
That's 10.
Electoral
that's 10,
votes,
yeah.
sorry. Electoral votes, not like.
Right. So, let's see. No, excuse me. 8, 9, 10. No, they have 11, 12, 13. 2 are vacant, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have 20, they have 15 electoral votes, right? So that makes them pretty,
they're right up there, yeah.
Yeah, that medium range.
Uh-huh.
But it's remarkable how all the states, particularly on the East Coast, have had such a extensive history because they, came up early and started being developed, and particularly for their cotton and tobacco, which is what they were famous for.
Yeah. 1861, the capital of the Confederacy was moved from Montgomery, Alabama to Richmond, Virginia, and I think the reason they did that, they thought they were going to win. They just wanted to be closer to the north where they could govern more effectively.
that governed more effectively. That's correct, and they thought they would be a lot easier to secure and defend as well.
Yeah.
And because Montgomery, Alabama, was exposed to the ocean or the sea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it didn't result in a very successful transition, other than the fact that they got farther north.
That's right. And I'm pretty sure there was a Battle of Richmond, if I remember correctly.
Oh, there was. That's right. Yeah.
1902, the president ended a 3-year military presence in Cuba as the Republic of Cuba was established. And we've been going downhill there ever since, Shane.
Well, yeah, and that was, of course, a result of the Spanish-American War and the sinking of the Maine. Everybody, one of the first things I think you learn in American history, is January 1998, the sinking of the Maine or the riots in January of 1990. And then the 15th of February, the Maine was sunk, and no one to this day knows exactly what happened, but it resulted in William McKinley going, well, south, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
U.S. defeated them and actually ruled Cuba for a couple of years, and then, they left, and as they have most places that they've conquered, and didn't keep the land. Yep. Big mistake, I think. That was one real estate transaction they'd want back.
Yeah, I would think having that island 90 miles off your coast would be something you wouldn't want in communist hands.
No, yeah, exactly.
Anyway, well, in 1927, Charles Lindbergh took off for Paris from Roosevelt Field in Long Island, New York, aboard the Spirit of St. Louis for the first nonstop solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean, and he sat on a wicker chair.
That's right. A single-engine, purpose-built Orion monoplane, as you said. And, it was pretty amazing. The interesting thing about Lindbergh is he did this on his own.
Yeah.
He really did. The military didn't ask him to do it. I mean, he was in the U.S. Army Air Corps Reserves. But, he sort of did it on his own because he was such an avid aviator, as they're called, and he wanted to do something drastic to bring attention to planes, because at the time it was pretty much a circus sort of thing with planes, people flying around with biplanes to people's farms and trying to gather people and so forth.
Yeah. So
he did it all on his own, and then he got the support of a couple of business people. And, of course, the rest is history. We all know it happened.
Yeah, 33 hours or so, something like that. I mean, that's a long time to, A, stay awake, and B, to sit on a wicker chair.
That's right. Yeah, and the wicker chair was so they could put more fuel.
Yeah, they needed a lightweight. They needed the light in that plane as much as they possibly could. So he's sitting on this thing, rattling around inside the cockpit. So, boy, I don't know. I bet he had a sore bottom when he got there.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Well, yeah, first nonstop solo flight across the Atlantic. Who was the second guy to go across the Atlantic? Do you have any idea, Shane?
Oh, I have no idea. Who was it?
Bert Hinkler.
Wow, that's a name I would remember.
Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey.
This is Aaron. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
That's awesome, man.
It's Monday, awesome. Man. It's Monday. We're living our dream here.
It's the best day of the week, right?
Of course. Yeah, right.
You guys have a good weekend?
It's a great way to spend 1/7 of your life.
Most certainly. And since you put it like that, I mean, we could categorize everything.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
You guys have a good weekend?
We did. Wonderful. Yeah.
Excellent. I went fishing in my boat.
All right.
Of course you were.
Yes. And the last time I called and discussed my boat, I got a call from a guy that I did a job for who is a liberal from California.
Yeah.
And he called me to inform me that he actually bought that boat, that Bozeman was a destitute S-hole before the Californians moved here, and now it is full of prosperity, and he bought the boat.
Ah. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope you thanked him.
Yeah.
I did. Well, and that's why I called today,
Yeah.
Shane. I wanted to thank everybody, all the Californians, all the liberals, for purchasing my boat for me.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it this weekend. And as I told Shane earlier, the only people allowed on it are white Christian males. And we found a new name for the boat.
Oh, good.
What's it? Tom and Jane?
No, white privilege.
Oh.
White privilege.
White privilege.
It's
No,
a black boat.
you have to change it to wife privilege.
Yeah.
White privilege.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Well, my wife's a woman, so she's not allowed on the boat.
Okay, well, there you are. That's right. I guess.
But no, it was pretty good fishing out there. Sunday, Saturday sucked,
Yeah.
and Sunday it was fun. Had a good time, and I'm looking forward to going again. So once again, thank you all you Californians for my boat.
All right. Hey,
Have a good day.
appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks a lot. Okay. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more of this day in history and Aaron's boat right after this. 22 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It is Monday, May 20th, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Shane Metalman in Cantaloupe, wherever that is. No one knows where it is. It's
500 kilometers northeast of Vancouver in the lower central area of BC.
uh-huh. Everybody there is in witness protection.
That's right. They are. Of course they are. They have to because they all, they can't carry a gun.
Right, yeah. So, nowhere in Canada can you carry anything.
Yeah, you got to be protected. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the first person flying solo across the Atlantic, Charles Lindbergh. The second person, Bert Hinkler. Any idea who the third one is? Of course you do.
Amelia Earhart.
Of course you do. Amelia Earhart. Now, was Amelia the third person to fly solo across the Atlantic, or the first what?
The first woman.
That's right, Amelia Earhart. In 1932, she took off from Newfoundland for Ireland to become the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. So good for her. And disappeared some years later and still hasn't been found. Or
still a mystery.
Yeah, what happened to Amelia Earhart? Where did she go?
Yeah, she received the United States Distinguished Flying Cross.
Mhm.
She started a group called the 99s, which was an organization for female pilots. Went to Purdue University and taught there as an aeronautical engineer. So this is like right at it. She was involved, obviously, at the time in the Equal Rights Amendment that, as we know, passed.
Yep, that's true.
In 2000 or 1920. So she was a very involved individual who came from a nice upbringing. But one of the first person to be declared dead in absentia, and which was January 5th, 1939. So that's sort of interesting, right? That whole concept that you're gone after 7 years, you're gone.
Yeah. Well, as long as we're talking about airplanes, 1939, regular transatlantic service began as a Pan Am Airways plane took off from Port Washington, New York, bound for Europe. And
that's right.
Yeah, when you think about it, that was only 12 years after Lindbergh made his flight in a little plane. Now we're taking passengers across the U.S. So we evolved pretty quickly in the flight area.
Which is the amazing thing about this is, what was the rest of the world doing? Anyway, they commenced operations October 19th, 1927. It was the brainchild of two very wealthy Americans, Cornelius Vanderbilt Whitney, the Anderson Cooper family, and W. Averill Harriman. I don't know why I had a hard time with that. Both industrialists, philanthropists, very wealthy men, and they put up the first $250,000 for a couple of Air Corps generals, Henry H. Hap Arnold and Carl A. Spaatz, to put together, Pan Am, and it was pretty big. It grew fast. 86. It ended up, flying to 86 countries, and they were at its peak in 1968, but the airline wars came along and regrettably ceased operations December 4th, 1991.
Wow. Wasn't Averill Harriman some government deal too? Wasn't he in the government somewhere? That name
Oh yeah,
sounds familiar to me.
yeah. Abraham had a very colored. Excuse me. He had a very colored history. He was both. At one point, he was Secretary of State.
Yeah, that's where I
And
remember him from. Yeah.
yeah, and he also worked in government in a number of different what do you call it, administrations, I guess you'd say. So that's where his fame did. And I think what was it that he was a famous businessman. He also got involved in he was Secretary of Commerce under Harry Truman, and I think he was involved in what was the weekly television guide. You know, he invested in that and did very well too.
Oh, yeah.
Which was sold for billions.
Well, in 1969, U.S. and South Vietnamese forces captured Ap Bi Mountain, referred to as Hamburger Hill by the Americans, following one of the bloodiest battles of the Vietnam War.
That's right. It was a hard-fought battle for 10 days, the 10th to the 20th of May, 1969. And it was known militarily as Hill 937.
Yeah.
It was virtually no strategic value other than the fact it was a hill they, basically leveled the top on to put an encampment on, right?
Right, yeah.
But, the North Vietnamese played it up as that this was going to be the battle that would drive the Americans out like Dien Bien did with the French, right? And of course, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's because the 101st Airborne, the Flying Eagles, 3rd Regiment of the 1st Infantry Division were also there.
Yeah.
And pretty good people. They're very, very tough. Very tough guys, only 1,800 of them. And they survived the battle and continued on.
That there was. On this date, 1961, a white mob attacked a busload of Freedom Riders in Montgomery, Alabama, and prompting the federal government to send in troops and United States Marshals to restore order. And we'll be back with more about all of that right after the news at the bottom of the hour. I'm assuming you're going to get a repeat of Montana State News. I have no clue. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they got it fixed over the weekend. Who knows? I've written everybody I know to write and talk to and gripe to and complain to. So we'll see. We'll see if I carry any weight with anybody here. All right, we'll be back with more of the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane right after this. All right, it is 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019, 35 degrees outside. Shane Metaubin in Kamloops, Canada is half man, half amazing on the line with me. And Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor. This is the KMMS Morning Soapbox. Thanks for coming along with us. We appreciate you very much listening to us, and hopefully we're entertaining you. And
exactly.
In 1971 on this date, Shane, the album What's Going On by Marvin Gaye was released. Marvin Gaye, shot by Dad, I believe.
Yeah.
If I'm correct on that one, yeah.
Well, what a great artist. And the music was just so romantic.
Yeah, it was,
romantic.
Yeah, he had a lot
it's like Barry White. Get a Barry White album when you get a new girlfriend.
That's right, man. That's all you need. That or that and a nice bottle of wine, and you're ready to go.
Right, baby, yeah.
Well, sadder note, 1989, one of the great comedians, I think, of all time, Gilda Radner of Saturday Night Live, the original Not Ready for Primetime Players. Gilda Radner died of cancer at the all too young age of 42, I should say.
Yeah, ovarian cancer, which, she was one of the first people, of course, that wanted it known because she wanted to save other women. And she married to an amazing comedian, Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder was the husband, yeah.
Yeah, she was from Michigan and a remarkable talent. Got taken way too soon. Way too.
Pretty amazing, yeah. Well, in 1993, the final first-run episode of Cheers aired on NBC, and that was a long-running 8-9-year episodes with the bar where everybody knows your name.
And a remarkable concept, when it comes to the comedy, a half hour in television land. I mean, a single set, but just a bar, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And people coming and going, and basically everyone having the same seat for the entire,
Yeah.
And it reminds me too of the Big Bang Theory, because last Thursday night they had their last show.
Right. Yep. Yep. There you go.
Another long time comedy.
Yeah. And back in 2017, I wrote a blog on the Cheers thing about how the lyrics of the song relate to business.
Bingo. Very good.
If you look at the lyrics of the song and think of business, I think you'll see it's pretty clear that, working your way,
That's right.
everything you got, giving it everything you got and all that stuff. And
That's right. Purely marketing, baby.
That was it, man. 1995, President Clinton announced that the 2-block stretch of Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House would be permanently closed to traffic as a security measure.
Yeah, that's been a very strange event at the time. No one quite understood it, but of course now, as a result of what's happened since that, with regard to terrorism, we all know why. Yeah, but it's cost a lot for the United States to harden federal buildings clear across the continent.
Yeah.
Not just in Washington. It's pretty intense, some of the stuff they've got,
I just don't understand why they need a wall. But anyway.
They got a fence around the White House.
I know. How many people jumped that thing and ran up there and got caught? Didn't one guy make it inside the White House? He just hopped the fence and went running up there.
I know, but up till the Truman presidency and the Korean War, you could walk up to the White House and there's no fence or anything. You walk up and right in and try to meet the president. Yeah, but after the issue with the Korean War and they decided, we got to tighten this down.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. 1996, Supreme Court struck down a Colorado measure banning laws that protect homosexuals from discrimination.
So should we go to break? Because this is really relevant to what we're talking about in regard to abortion.
We should do that because we've got a long one this time. So let's do that, and we'll come back and we'll talk about that when we come back. 14 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019, 35 degrees outside. And Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, in Cantaloupe, Canada. Tommy Dolph, your morning mayor in downtown Bozeman. And we're doing the On This Day in History. And we just talked about the, in 1996, Supreme Court struck down a Colorado measure banning laws that protect homosexuals from discrimination. And we had a little conversation about that, Shane.
That's right, and this is interesting for two reasons: the case law in regards to Romer versus Evans, but with regard to the argument about abortion, and that people claim it's settled law. Well, so was this issue by Bowers versus Hardrick. Are you ready for this? 1986, the U.S. Supreme Court held that the laws criminalizing sodomy were constitutional. So this Romer versus Evans was a landmark case in 1996, came before the United States Supreme Court dealing with sexual orientation and the laws. The court ruled in a 6-3 decision that a state constitutional amendment in Colorado prevented protected status based upon homosexuality or bisexuality, did not satisfy the equal protection clause of the Constitution. So then what happens was the Marriage Act was passed, Defensive Marriage Act was passed, 1996 by Bill Clinton. And that resulted in, or set the stage for what became famous, Lawrence versus Texas, 2003, where the court overruled its decision in Bowers. So there you go, folks. Supreme Court law is not settled. They can reverse themselves as they did in this case. And so, and since then, the United States versus Winder case of 2013, the courts ruled striking down state bans on same-sex marriage, and also in Obergefell and Hodges 2015, and that's where you are with gay marriage. But the importance of the fact is that the Supreme Court can reverse itself. No law is settled law.
Yeah. Well, there are currently no explicit, comprehensive, statewide non-discrimination protections for gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender people in Montana. Public employees and government contractors in Montana are protected by a series of executive orders from employment discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, passed in 2000, or written in 2000, 2008, and 2016. So
yeah, and again, the amazing thing about all these decisions that have happened in the last 30 years is it's like the politicians in Washington didn't read, or they didn't read about it in the New York Times or the Washington Post, about sexual harassment and the rights of minority groups and everything. It's pretty amazing when even the people running your government ignore the rules of the land.
Well, yeah. Well, come on, that's what we do. We only adhere to the laws we like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's where we are.
Like, fishing laws, where I can and can't fish.
Yeah, where I can and can't fish, yeah. Yeah, like the Madison River, for example.
Yes, exactly. There you go. Local politics.
Yeah. 2002, East Timor became an independent nation, and nobody, including me, knows where East Timor is, but Jane does.
It's in South Pacific, near Indonesia.
Is there a West Tambor?
It's actually East Tambor. It's in the eastern chain of the Indonesian islands.
Oh,
and it's northwest of Australia.
I know you'd know.
So there you go. And it's just an island nation that decided to separate from Indonesia and ended up having its independence.
Okay. So to...
Well, I can give you the numbers. I mean, independence on November 28th, 1975. This is a good one. Population 1,100,000 people, per capita income 5,500, and this is one of those islands, folks, you'll hear about because it's gonna sink into the ocean because of climate change.
Oh, it's gonna, the sea levels are gonna rise, and East Tambor will be under Tambor.
It'll be water Tambor.
Okay, yeah. It'll be the new water park of the
South Pacific. Yeah.
There you go. All right, we got to take another quick break. We'll be right back right after these important words. 6 minutes till the top of the hour. It is Monday, May 20th. What is it? It's 2019 already. Wow. Yeah. How did that happen? 35.
All the days pass one at a time, and there you are.
35 degrees outside. That lone voice in the wilderness, Shane Montalban. He is the half man, half amazing, and he's in Cantaloupe, Canada, 500 miles west, south, north of wherever he lives. We don't know where he is. Northeast. All right, good deal. Well, we're doing this day in history. 2006, San Francisco Giants slugger Barry Bonds tied Babe Ruth for second place on the career list with 714 home runs. And chasing Hank Aaron at the time, I guess. Yeah,
but again, we have to put it into context. I mean, it wasn't Babe Ruth wasn't playing anywhere near the number of games these guys were.
That's true. 154 games versus 162.
That's right.
And
he had a more direct perspective on the game. I mean, he actually called home runs. He literally called them.
Yeah.
So
the
guy was a natural.
He was a natural player, that's for sure. Well, in 2009, suspended NFL star Michael Vick was released after 19 months in prison for running a dogfighting ring, and I can't think of anything more despicable, unless it's cockfighting, than a dogfighting ring. I don't know. As a dog lover, yeah.
And the thing about it is lying, like he did. Like
I know,
yeah. There are two things about his story that upset me. First, the lying and denying, and then it turns out, he had a farm and was raising them, and he was.
Yeah.
And the second thing was that he had a storied career. Like when he got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, he still has the biggest record for rushing by a quarterback.
Yeah.
And but the thing was he was so involved in this dogfighting.
I know, yeah.
That he would get in a private jet and fly right after a game. It was more important to him to get out of the game.
go to the dogfight.
It was not a good scene.
Not a good thing at all. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the air. What's going on?
Hey, guys. This is Nikisha. So I'm just so chilly. I'm just so cold. But thank God for global warming. Just can you imagine? Can you imagine how cold we would be if it wasn't for global warming?
I know.
wait.
I'm thankful. I'm so
Oh,
thankful.
wait. They changed the verbiage. It's now climate change.
Oh, you're right. Well,
Oh,
I
wait.
forgot. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why did they do that? Because they know everyone say this is a lie. They say, oh, wait a minute. A few years ago, I remember there was those statistics from those institutes, those weather statistics from those emails that they lied about. This is all a lie. That's why they changed it. It's not global warming. It's climate change.
Climate change. Absolutely. Hey.
Oh, thank God for global warming.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so cold.
I'm so cold. I love that.
Well, the nice thing about climate change is you can't be wrong.
Right.
If it changes cold, you're right. If it changes warm, you're right.
So you can lie about the weather statistics any way you want to.
That's right.
Well,
Hey.
your weatherman does every day.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Look how wrong I've been on the forecast since I've been on the air.
And he's not even a weatherman.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so chilly. Oh, global warming. Oh,
I
thank
know.
God we have global warming.
Well, thanks very much for letting us know on the on these terms because everybody's confused. I think.
Oh yes. So we can lie about everything.
That's right. That's right. It'll be 90 tomorrow. I promise.
Yeah, and then it'll be like, oh, maybe it's climate change again.
Yeah,
or global warming again.
I'll blame it on climate change. It wasn't 90 because of climate change. I didn't know.
Oh, now it's global cooling.
There you are. Oh.
Let's find some way to give them a carbon tax. We got to find some way to do this.
That's right.
Right.
Oh, boy. All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that's a great way to end this segment, Shane. So.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It seems like the whole Democratic Party's going after climate change pretty hard, and I don't know. I've been around for a long time, Shane, as you know. I've seen cold weather and I've seen warm weather, and I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You're not the only one.
I think the planet has more capability to take care of itself than we realize. Yeah. So we'll see how. I don't know.
A lot's happened in 4 billion years.
That's true. So, all right. Well, we've still got to do. We got to do Bozeman yet, don't we? We haven't even touched Bozeman yet.
Got to do local politics, Mayor. That's
we got to do some Bozeman stuff.
Yeah.
Guess what? We got 2 new buildings coming. I'm excited. All right. Let's have a couple of new buildings. Whoa.
All right.
All right. I'm ready for that. All right. We'll be back. Who knows what you'll get with Montana State News, but we'll see. All right. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Shane Tobin, half man, half amazing, online not in Vancouver. He's in Kamloops.
Kamloops. We call it the Loops for short.
The Loops. He's in the Loops.
Yep. It's the fruit basket of Canada.
All right. Well, I guess it's appropriate for you to be there then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, from our text line, Shane, 478-8298, we were talking a little bit about climate change when the thing ended, the last hour. And it's not climate change now. It's a climate crisis. It's a crisis, Shane. I mean, what are we going to do? Holy moly.
It's like, until we get these words right and everyone believes us, we have to keep changing it up.
I tell you, I got my coffee sitting here. It's getting hotter by the moment.
There you are.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
And it'll keep you awake at night. Climate change with hot coffee.
Well, fortunately, though, the climate change is not going to stop Bozeman from growing as Midtown sees a slew of new buildings. Developers have filed plans for 2 new projects in the Midtown area. Still in the preliminary stages. The bigger of the 2 projects would be called 910, and it's located at 816 North 8th Street, or 8th Avenue. Why wouldn't they call it 816 instead of 910? Come on.
I don't know. It's just easier for people to remember.
Well, they remember the address if they call it 816.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, this monstrosity is going to feature 97 units of what would likely be affordable housing. Ooh, spread out across one residential and one mixed-use building. The developer is Jeffrey Anderson, said the project aims to address Bozeman's workforce housing shortage, offering studios to three-bedroom for-sale condos that should be affordable for those making about 80 to 110% of the area median income.
Well, there you go. That's a good deal.
Yeah, so I think it's an underserved market, he said. The project would help bring a significant number of units online to make the units affordable. He said he's applying for a new market tax credit, which was designed to bring money to businesses and low-income communities by providing a modest tax incentive to private investors. He's also...
Oh, this sounds Trumpian to me. Come on.
Yeah. Well, sounds like that opportunity zone situation, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
He's also requesting tax increment financing, TIFs, district money, through the city to decrease costs for the project, and the site's location in the TIF district made Midtown appealing to him, as well as its walkability and proximity to other upcoming Midtown projects like the Rue Building, Aspen Crossing, and the Elm. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. Every time you turn around, we got a new building, Shane. I don't know where.
I know.
It's like the Lego man came to town. Building everywhere. Building stuff all over the place.
Yeah, someone's spinning one of those things, to draw bingo letters out of. Right?
I guess, yeah, or something like that. So
they're numbers for the next project.
Yeah. Well, one of the problems Yellowstone Park is having, or at least the concessions that run Yellowstone Park down there, well, they don't run it. They sell stuff at Yellowstone Park. But employees and where to house them is the problem. And Yellowstone this week released a proposal to modify a camper loop at the Canyon campgrounds to build 650 square foot houses and build 14 RV sites and renovate 2 shower and restroom stations there. Near the west entrance, the proposal calls for 25 RV sites and a bathhouse with laundry around the warehouse, operated by Delaware North, one of the park's concessionaires, and the concession companies would pay for the upgrades. The park's environmental assessment says the additional housing is necessary because the number of people working for the concessionaire companies has increased over the years, but the amount of housing has not. So they want to put up some houses there for the poor folks that are working, cleaning the beds and whatever
well, yeah,
they're doing.
The remarkable thing is that, all your national parks at Yellowstone are under the Department of the Interior.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the building that had gone on in these parks in the last 100 years were by philanthropists.
Yeah.
And excuse me. And the fascinating thing is, while they've been all well maintained, it's like the Department of Interior doesn't have any budget money to expand things like the housing or,
right, yeah.
Even hotels in the park. It's one of those strange things that your government doesn't seem to manage well with regards to that type of serendipity as far as enjoyment for the American public.
They're great at setting stuff up. They're bad at paying for it and keeping it going.
That's right.
Or enforcing it or whatever. Every feel-good thing you can think of. We got 126 poverty programs, right? So, but enforcing them or fraud or anything else is off the charts. That's
right, and it's one area of your budget where the revenue generated by your national parks is significant and covers all the costs to maintain it. So
it should in most cases, but sometimes I don't know. Every time we have a government shutdown, they shut down the parks. So
I know.
That's.
That was the same problem I had with unions. I never understand people paying the massive dues. Well, not massive. Well, in the day they were at one point.
Yeah.
And they paid these massive dues into the union. And, of course, the guys running the union made huge money,
Right.
Six-figure money against the five-figure money their members made. But the one thing I didn't understand is when they go on strike, and they'd only pay people $5 or $10 or $15 a day, to go out and picket.
Yeah.
And I always thought that one of the major reasons for those fees being paid by the members was to pay them a salary while
they're on strike, so they aren't. So it's not a hardship on them, but it's a hardship on the company. That
exactly, because they're getting full salary. Yeah. I never understood that. That was strange to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's pretty silly to work that way, but
yeah.
Well, as long as we're renovating everything in Yellowstone, let's renovate the Mountain Village at Big Sky Resort. They want $13 million to renovate that, and they announced plans for the expansion and upgrade of the Mountain Mall, located in the Mountain Village, which will open in time for the next ski season. So that'll be good. On the upper level, one new food hall will replace the Lone Park Cafe. It will have more than twice the number of seats as the current area and will have new food options. The food hall will connect to the new outdoor deck with 268 seats and an outdoor fireplace and views of Lone Mountain. And the common area near the food hall will be renovated to accommodate more than 750 people and could be used as a private event space, Big Sky spokesman said. And the Big Sky is expanding the bathrooms on the mid-level, which is primarily retail space. We got bathroom retail space. I like it.
There you go. Yeah.
On the ground floor, Big Sky is building new complimentary daycare cubbies and lockers for guests and staff, changing area, and larger bathrooms. There will also be a new elevator that will connect skiers arriving at the 15-minute drop-off zones to the slopes, while also providing guests with access to the rest of the building. So in addition to the renovation, Big Sky is adding 250 parking spaces in the Mountain Village, and it's constructing housing for 75 seasonal workers. So,
wow.
What a deal, man. These guys have got it made down there.
Yeah. When in need, call the right guy that gets done.
That's it, man. What can I tell you? This is a pretty good deal. But, yeah, we got, I don't know, all the building and everything that's going on, Shane, it certainly bodes well to the economy, I would think, at least in this area.
Yeah, it makes the politicians comfortable because they look like they're doing good.
Yeah.
And it makes all the retail companies in the valley better because they see the economy expanding. Mm-hmm. And all your residents are made happy because there's more to do because family can have another choice of where to stay when they visit.
Boy, isn't that the truth? All right. Well, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, 5 things you need to know. And you'll need to know these, so you need to pay attention.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to pay attention because we don't just throw out 5 things. I mean, these are 5 things you got to know. You got to know these.
It's fine. There's a lot of science.
A lot of time and work goes into these 5 things you got to know. All right. We'll be right back right after this. 19 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing. And Cantaloupe, he's in the loops up there in Canada. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in the house. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and we're happy to have you along with us. Thanks for spending your morning with us. We know there's plenty of other places you could be, but we're glad you're here. So, 5 things you need to know, Shane. In 2016, 2017, anti-money laundering specialist at Deutsche Bank flagged several transactions involving accounts controlled by President Trump and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, as suspicious, but executives chose to ignore their reports. Current and former bank employees, multiple transactions, some involving Trump now shuttered foundation, set off alerts in the computer system that detects potentially illegal activity. The employees said employees who looked over some of the transactions said they thought them suspicious enough to forward to the Treasury Department unit covering financial crimes. They were reportedly overruled by executives at the private banking institution. House Democrats have subpoenaed Trump's record from Deutsche Bank, and Trump has sued to stop them. So, what do you think, Shane? Is this another scandal, or where are we?
It's crazy, Gate. It's one of these things where you look at it from the standpoint of when is enough is enough. I mean, the guy's president. We comically commented mutually about who would win. And, you said that Hillary would have to shoot the Pope on the White House lawn to lose.
Yeah, she would.
And I harken back to that only because I'm thinking, if she'd done that and won, she'd still be president.
Yeah, probably.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like this ongoing stuff is like so ridiculous. What a waste of time, especially like when we just discussed about gay rights, and now the abortion issue, which with 5 things we're going to. Yeah. These people have so much to legislate, and seriously, what a waste of time and money when they're supposed to be legislating and improving the life and welfare of the American people.
But Shane, if the president's a crook, shouldn't you stop him? Shouldn't we impeach him and get him the hell out?
I think with the audits he's gone through for the last 20 years since his companies went bankrupt, and come on, Tom, like we both have agreed on this. I mean, this guy, talk about vetting. I mean, oh my gosh, all they did to vet Obama was read his book.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh well.
That gentleman last night you were asking about Pete
Buttigieg criticized Trump and Fox News, of course. No surprise there. And I watched the whole thing, and it was pretty typical of what I thought I was going to hear from Mayor Pete. He's quite a guy, all things considered,
Oh, yes, he's such a darling. And accomplished what? Nothing.
Well,
I mean, come on. He's poorly managed small town of 100,000 people. Give me a break.
Well, not only that, but he did go to Harvard. He is a Rhodes Scholar. Yeah. Did do a tour in Afghanistan. Yes. I mean, the boy has accomplished a lot in his 37 years. Was elected the mayor of his city, reelected by 80% of the votes at 29. So, youngest person to ever run for president, I think, if he's elected, he'd be the youngest president ever.
JFK was 37.
No, JFK was in his 40s. Yeah.
Was he 42?
Yeah, he was 40 something. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway.
I just find it hard to imagine that people. I mean, so many of these people running for president.
I know.
Wow.
Well, a bunch of them, there's 22 of them now, I think, and there's going to be a bunch of them that aren't going to be on the stage because they're not going to raise enough money to be there.
I don't think so.
Or they'll have to run a couple of an afternoon one and an evening one, or something like that, like the Republicans did.
Like it opened up a lemonade stand, sell cookies.
Well, whatever. But anyway. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
This is the old guy.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, I thought I'd try to get this thing kick-started here this morning.
Yeah?
You ready for that?
We're always ready, yeah. What do you got?
You ready for that, Shane?
I'm always ready for you. Are you kidding?
Well, I'll tell you something.
You're the man.
I'll tell you something here that... Mr. Bullock now is going to run for the presidency. Am I correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you think his chances are going to be in Montana, the voters of Montana, when they go to vote? If he was the 1-2 run, what do you think that the voters, would the Republicans and Democrats both vote for him?
Boy, that'd be hard. Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
I'm just going to say, if the Democrats nominated him for president, it would be to turn one very blue state red.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think probably that he brags about, being a Democratic governor elected pretty
Of
much
a red,
in a
of a
Republican
red state. I
yeah.
I think he would win Montana.
I think so too. That's what I'm thinking.
And the reason is that he was born here.
Yep.
He's a Montana guy.
All the way.
And I think people would put some effort into that. I think the local Democrats would get out the vote, and I think he would. Just the proof in the pudding is when Trump carried the entire state, he was the only real high up official that won.
That's right.
And there's no reason that Trump's coattails shouldn't have swept him aside.
And pretty much in a Republican state too.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
I think if he were the person, he would carry Montana.
Well, I met him once before when Brian was there,
Mm-hmm.
and Brian and I were good friends. And anyway, I kind of got a kick out of him when he talked.
Mm-hmm.
He was a jokeful guy, and and he's going to be the first governor of the state of Montana to ever run for the presidency.
Yep.
And so that says something to the voters also.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering what people thought about Bullock running and the reasons why he would run. I'd like to hear that from the people out there.
Yeah. Well, I haven't interviewed him. I haven't met him. I've seen plenty of his speeches, obviously, on TV and through YouTube and some other things. And I don't know. The one impression that I get from him is that whenever I hear him, afterwards, I have the need to take a shower.
Yeah.
I just think he is
oh boy.
I think he's that guy from River City or whatever it is, Sound of Music or
Music Man. Yeah.
Yeah, the Music Man guy.
Yeah.
I'm here to sell you tubas, man. That's it.
Oh boy. Anyway.
All right. Thanks, Clint.
You betcha.
All right. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, I think there's two people that could bring down the Trump administration. One of them is Jared Kushner.
Yeah.
The other is John Bolton.
Yeah, they could. You're right.
And he's doing a good job of resisting John Bolton. But Kushner has obviously got some problems with his. I mean, if there's money laundering, it wasn't Donald Trump, it was Jared Kushner.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, if there's anything to talk about there, that would be it would be in his ballpark, I think. Yeah, he's a sharp guy.
Why do you think the Democrats are pushing Mayor Pete Buttigieg?
Well, I don't know that they're pushing him as much as they are Biden at the moment, but they want another John Kennedy. They're always looking for another John Kennedy.
No, this guy ain't John Kennedy.
Well, he isn't, but I mean, they're always looking for somebody they can tout as the next Kennedy or somebody.
No, they like him. He's being pushed because he's gay.
Well, I don't think that's going to fly any more than Romney being a Mormon. So.
I don't think we're going to have a gay president named Buttigieg.
Well, we haven't had one since Buchanan, so.
That's right.
There we are. All right, hey, thanks for the call. I got 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Shane and Tobin, half man, half amazing in Cantaloupe, Canada. And Tommy Goloff, your morning mayor in the house. And welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and lines are ringing, Shane, so let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
Hey, good morning, Dynamic Duo. How you doing?
All right.
Hey, Tom, I got to say, I think statistically I figured it out, and I agree with you about 93% of the time.
All right.
But I agree with Shane about 99% of the time.
Oh, no.
There's one of
Don't say that. He'll want to raise.
No. With the Canadian discount, we're even.
This is one of those rare times when I agree with you, but I disagree with you on your comment about JFK. I think they want somebody who had the charisma of JFK.
Well, they do, yeah.
Do they really want a JFK? I mean, he was a staunch Catholic. He really believed in the sanctity of life as commander of PT-109. He was for a strong military, and he was a true military, hero.
And a tax cutter.
His ideology would, I think, go very much against the grain of your modern-day Democrats.
Well, I agree with you. I think they want that persona. They don't want the issues.
No, I think no way. Because what he was, and he united the country. I mean, if JFK were alive today, he might possibly be wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
Remember,
be close. Be close.
What your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
There you are.
Fewer, more patriotic statements were ever made. And he was definitely America first.
Mm-hmm.
They're I think, in love with the delusion, of JFK, because that's what America used to be.
Right.
I mean, JFK is not even comparable to, I don't think he'd recognize the Democratic Party of today.
No, I don't either.
And anybody, I think, in that day, Republican or Democrat, were willing to forgive him of his extramarital indiscretions just because of the type of president and man he was otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think they are looking for a reincarnation, but not with the with the issues of today.
Yeah.
So.
Because they're saying that better old Rourke.
Well, yeah.
Maybe spiritual-wise a little bit, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Ideologically, that guy couldn't be. That guy is borderline crazy. You ever read some of his poetry?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
In his early years, that guy's nuts.
He is nuts.
Well, I think the one thing about Mayor Pete that I will say is, in all vetting so far done, he's not corrupt.
So far.
Yeah, so far. Exactly. That's it.
I guess the only one we know for sure is corrupt is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We just haven't been able to pin it on him yet.
That's right.
And in 2 years, we just got to keep going because, even no matter what the Democrats do, no one is above the law.
There you go.
I think I'll close with that, guys. Just remember, no one's above the law.
All right.
You got to investigate till you find something.
Thanks, man.
Have a good day.
You too. Thanks a lot. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
I think Kennedy would be a Republican today.
Well, I think so. I think in many ways, yeah, he was a tax cutter. He was a not a welfare guy for sure.
And Buttigieg, he's got, he's Harvard graduate, Rhodes Scholar.
Yep.
2 strikes against him right there.
Yeah. He's got the Clinton stench on him.
Right. And I told you guys last week on the radio, I said that the new term is going to be climate crisis.
Right.
Well, I hadn't heard it until yesterday morning. Howard Kurtz.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So 5/19/19 uses the term climate crisis.
All right.
That didn't take him long to roll that out.
No, there you'll be hearing it. You'll be hearing it daily.
Shane, tell me if this sounds correct to you. I watched a documentary that went all the way from the East India Company to the present when it comes to opium.
Yes.
And one of the things they said right towards the end of the documentary, they said that they talked about the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Company being fined $1.9 billion. And then after that, they said that's 5 days profit for the bank. So that'd put you're between $4 and almost $500 billion if you take the weekends out. Just use 260 days. That's almost $500 billion a year. That's pretty good money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's the important the aspect of what your question is why is this a state bank? Well, because it's one of the top 8 banks in China, And they're all owned by the government. I mean, this is the infrastructure of a fascist government. They control and run all the banks, and then the banks, finance all the companies that are run by all the mandarins, and it's an incestuous little pool of vipers that run everything, right? So it's a shared greed.
Yeah.
That it is.
I like the sharing is good, right? But yeah, it was it's a pretty good documentary. It ain't on. It wasn't a TV deal.
Yeah.
It was a video. I didn't have a hell of a time finding it. I heard people talking about it, but it was quite an interesting deal. I think it was like 2 hours long, though.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard for me to keep my eyes open that long.
I know,
At my age, things are tough.
I hear you, man. Try doing 3 hours here.
Yeah, well, that'd be really hard for me there. I don't know if I could do half an hour what you guys do.
Hey, I got to go. I got a break coming up here.
Man.
All right, thanks, Pete. All right, Shane, we got a caller on the line. If you'll chat with him, and we'll be right back with more right after this. 12 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019, 36 degrees outside. From our text line real quick, regarding investigations and all of that into Kushner and Trump, they have to justify their jobs by investigating. So much of our money is wasted that could be used for better causes. Bullock needs to stay home and do his damn job. Never voted for him, nor will I. And the caller is wrong. We've learned that a sitting president is above the law, can't be indicted. What crimes will the next Democratic president of the United States get away with? So there you go, Shane. So
wow.
We've had a caller waiting on the line patiently. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Well, I was not going to spend much time on this, but the man that called in and was bragging about Kennedy, what a great man he was. I used to think that too, and I voted for him. I'm sure. I believe I did. And he was such an immoral man. All these women he had, I think he wasn't maybe as bad as Billy Boy Clinton, but bringing those women up the back steps of the White House and the security people looking the other way.
I know, yeah.
The twosomes and threesomes and whatever somes, type of thing. He was just and ran around on Jackie Kennedy like he did. I just think he's very immoral. He was, he said he was a Catholic. He was not a Catholic. He was not a Christian. He was a very extremely immoral man. And I think it affected his presidency. Consider what happened to him. Consider what happened to each and every one of those Kennedy people, how they died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had a pretty tough go of it. That's for sure. And
so the only one that hasn't, the one that's waiting, and she's all for abortion, and that's Carolyn Kennedy.
Yeah, Caroline. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to spend any time on that. Go ahead with the other things. But hey, one thing I wish you and I'll leave you with one thought very quickly.
Go for it.
I wish that you, instead of referring to gay and lesbian, I wish you'd call them sodomites. That's what they really are. These other terms, gay and lesbians, are stupid words. That word gay is a beautiful word in itself, and those people have conned that word to it's a euphemism for what they really are concerned with and what they do.
All righty then.
So I'll leave it with that. I just wish that's what they are. They're sodomites, and that's what you should call them.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All views are welcome here. So, well, that was a pretty short. I'm looking at my clock, and I got to take another break.
That's right.
We've got a couple long breaks in here, so we're going to do that real quick. I'll give us more time when we come back, so we'll be right back. 5 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Monday, May 20th, 2019, 37 degrees outside. Tom and Shane on the Morning Soapbox. We've got a caller patiently waiting, or did the caller leave, Shane?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, hanging on.
Go for it.
The old Daniel R. Peterson pummeling.
Yeah.
But I'll say something that has to do with Christianity now that we're on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reading that Trump has gone through or has made charges 3,500 times in court cases but in the Bible, particularly Corinthians and Matthew, it says go very cautious about going to court. You can get entwined in the secular courts, and they may have all sorts of other agendas. So first you go talk to the person yourself one-on-one. If that doesn't work, take a couple elders of your tribe to them. If that doesn't work, try to get him to appear to your group to talk it out, to compromise, and then take it to court. So there is an option for court, but it's a last option, not a first option. It seems that he's overusing that tool of court cases.
Well, it depends. Usually we go to court if we think we're right.
Yeah, but also
we don't go for I think we're wrong.
Yeah, also people are suing him. Those
That's true too. Yeah.
Are all kinds of things, all that waste of time and money and lawyers. As Will Rogers, or as the joke goes, Will Rogers must not have met a lawyer.
Yeah.
Will Rogers said, I never met a man I didn't like. So the lawyers have a real burden of people having problems with the way their job is structured.
Well, that certainly can be, because sometimes we feel the law doesn't justice isn't always done in court. You know.
Yeah,
that's our issue. You know that.
Yeah. You can get somebody that really is not thinking about your case, but is thinking about some sort of agenda for his system, for his culture, his betterment, his reputation. He might be thinking about.
Daniel, hold on. You're stretching this way out. Okay, stretching it way out. Look, you live in the most litigious country in the world. So I'll give one example. The single largest cost to your medical system in the United States is the $250 billion in litigation every year against doctors by lawyers to generate revenue and income and money. So, I hardly think that this is something that we can blame Trump for, okay? I know you'd like to go there, but I don't think so.
Well, I'm not blaming Trump. I'm saying he's overusing the tool. When you have only a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and he's beating everybody over the head with his hammer.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the cost of doing business. That's what's worked. So,
yeah.
As I say, I don't think you go to court if you think you're wrong.
Well, there are lots of court cases against him that think he's wrong.
Well, that's true. That's why I say they. It's not on him; it's on them. So,
yeah. Well,
anyway, I got to go. I'm up against the clock at the top of the hour. Hey, thanks for the call, though. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, sure. Thank you.
All right. We'll be back. We got one full hour to go. Open lines. Anything you want to talk about, folks? No guest today. So, by all means, light up the phone lines, light up the text lines. Light up whatever you want to light up, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We still got to get through some of the 5 things, and we've got a bunch of other things I want to talk about when we come back. One is the guy at Morehead University that paid every class member's student debt. Wow. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned. A lot more Morning Soapbox to come. Welcome back, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m., Monday, May 20th, 2019. 37 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the mid-40s. Shaman Taubman, half man, half amazing, in Cantaloupe. What are you doing in Cantaloupe, man?
Visiting the grandchildren.
I don't know. I think you spoil them.
I don't spoil them. They spoil me.
There you are. From our text line, we're talking about the 5 things you need to know. We're talking about the president, having some problem with the Deutsche Bank and some other things.
Yes.
And from our text line, 478-8298, first the president is removed, then indicted. That's how I understand it's supposed to happen. Well, I think in some cases that's true because they've said the president can't be charged with crimes while he's in office and do it afterwards or something like that. So I don't know.
I think everybody's going to be so surprised because, I really appreciate your media explaining all this because, when all this stuff comes out, if what we're hearing is true and the investigation continues about the FISA warrants, everything, Obama will be indicted. So, there you go. And he won't be in the White House. So, he can be indicted. So there you go.
We'll see. From our text line, the first rule of law is there is none. That may be true. The law does seem to have some shaky lines there.
One of Shakespeare's greatest quotes, kill all the lawyers.
Yeah, right. Let's see. According to certain logic, Bill Clinton should have been indicted for perjury. Well, yeah, he should have been. I lost his law license and a bunch of other stuff. But as luck would have it, Obama could be indicted for spying on the Trump campaign. Maybe. I guess we'll see if where that conversation goes. So I don't know. Let's see some more things on the 5 things that we need to know. The Trump administration will start unveiling its long-promised Israeli-Palestinian peace plan at a June 25th, 26th economic workshop in Bahrain, the White House announced Sunday. Ho-hum Shane.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
A waste of time trying to get Israel and Palestine to even acknowledge each other, let alone live in peace. Every president says Truman has tried that, and it ain't going to work.
So Trump's going to get in a room with the two negotiators and say, okay, we in America have this game called football.
Yeah.
And you come out to the center field, and then we flip a coin to see who goes first.
Right, yeah.
That's about as far as it'll go, right?
Yeah, it's going to be finance ministers, business executives, described as phase 1, with the second part dealing with the difficult political solutions being rolled out later this year. The workshop's goal is to secure tens of millions of dollars from wealthy Gulf Arab states and donors in Europe and Asia with minimal U.S. investment. The reported target of $68 billion would go toward infrastructure, industry, and government reform in the Palestinian territories, Jordan, Egypt, and Lebanon. Experts in the region cast doubt on the efficacy of putting the economic carrots in front of the political thorns.
I can guarantee you one thing that'll get done. They'll all have eggs Benedict for breakfast in their rooms.
Yep.
They will eat a salad together at lunch outside.
Yep.
And they will have a big dinner and all have a rack of lamb. Okay, that will happen.
That'll happen. Yeah. Dom Perignon 59 or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, they'll have the high price spread. No blue bonnet there. Real butter. No. So,
no polar bear wine.
And why is it every time we have a problem, we think throwing money at it is the answer? We're going to throw $68 billion at this for what? Okay, we'll build a couple roads. Will those roads ever get potholes in them? Probably. So what do you do then?
and the best part of it, too, is that I'm not going to meet them at this meeting. We're going to be there together.
That's right.
And the meeting comes, and then, while they're having one of their $100,000 dinners, I decided I'd get up and go over and meet you.
Yeah, I'll go over there. Go check that out. So, well, in other things, in other news, Volodymyr Zelensky, he's a comic actor with no political experience who played an accidental Ukrainian president on TV,
right.
Was sworn in as president on a Monday. During his inauguration ceremony, he announced that he is dissolving the Verkhoven Rada on our parliament. setting up snap elections. He has campaigned on cleaning out Parliament of lawmakers. He accused of corruption and self-enrichment. People must come to power who will serve the public, he said Monday. And he crushed outgoing President Petro I don't even want to go there. In last month's runoff, earning 73% of the vote. In his inaugural address, he said his top priority is ending the 5-year-old conflict with Russia-backed separatists in eastern Ukraine. So good for him. We got a comedian running one country, and we got whatever you want to call Trump running the other one. So there we are.
Something's bound to get done, isn't it?
Something's bound to get done. All right. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Yes, regarding the Middle East and how things all got started in the first place in the late 40s. The Arabs, once they realized in 1949 that they were probably not going to destroy Israel right away, they could have played their cards differently. They could have said, okay, let's have, as you probably know, what actually happened is that Jordan seized what we call the West Bank, and they annexed it, so it became part of Jordan, and and Egypt took the Gaza Strip, and it became part of Egypt. What they could have done is they could have said, okay, we're going to have a temporary Palestine for the time being, consisting of the West Bank and, just like over in further to the east, there was Pakistan, and for a while there was East Pakistan before it became Bangladesh. But so that's what the Arabs could have done if they had maybe had cooler heads and looked and planned ahead a little better. No, what we've got right now, we've got this situation where, we want all of the land that's called Palestine, and we want it now. Well, even if we have to wait 20 years or so to try again later in 67 and try again after that in 73, once again, we can't rewind history and go down the time tunnel or whatever and find out what would have happened, but I'm just suggesting that, the Arabs at the time, they could have had cooler heads and looked down the future a little better. That's all I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, hindsight's always 20/20, as they say,
and anyway, one last point is
go ahead.
That somebody, there's a Jewish talk show host I like. I'll go ahead and name drop Dennis Prager. He said that from the Jewish point, or from the point of view of most Jews, at least those Jews that support Israel, this is not very complicated. It can be summed up this way: one side wants the other side dead, or at least gone. And to this day, most Arab Muslims want Israel just plain gone. And there was statesmen. There was an Israeli statesman years ago who said they don't just want all of Jerusalem; they want all of Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
So, okay, with that, I'll wrap it up. And
all right. Hey, thanks much for the call. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, a lot to digest in there, Shane.
Well, and it's historic, so it's a good reference. I think the biggest loss of opportunity, though, was with the Palestinians and the King of Jordan and what Arafat did. And I think that muddied the waters for the Palestinian people as a whole back in the 60s, 70s. Unfortunately, we all know what happened, or hopefully everyone does. And now, the Palestinians just won't. They don't have anybody that will stand up and say, "Here's some land." That's the whole problem. Right? Yeah. Israel's not going to, and they shouldn't.
Well, yeah. I don't know that I think these peace talks are just a waste of time. These people have lived together, fighting each other for thousands of years, and I don't think, I'm not sure there's an appeasable solution.
I agree. I mean, even you look at the Gaza Strip, and as the caller mentioned, that's basically Egyptian land. Yeah. Why doesn't it's part of the Sinai Peninsula? Why doesn't the Egyptians, just assigned some land, additional land along the coast, down the coast, and a larger piece of area for them. And I don't know. I assume there's a possibility.
That would be the same as us giving San Diego to Mexico.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's not going to work.
That's not going to work. No, I know. I agree.
Yeah. Just give up some land. Why don't you? Oh yeah, okay. We fought for thousands of years for this border, and we got a gigantic wall between us and Israel. So yeah, we'll just slap him in a little city right there. It'll be fine. No need to worry.
No. Be right at home. Yeah.
That's right. All right, we got to take a quick time out. We'll be right back. 21 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. It is Monday, May 20th, 2019. 37 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the mid-40s today. Shane and Tobin in Cantaloupe today. Half man, half amazing. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in the house. And you're on the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Hey, from our text line, 478-8298, giving most of California to Mexico is a great idea. What do you think, Shane? They deserve it, don't they?
Hey, they could take care of all of them.
Yeah. Well, a couple things we wanted to talk about. We've got to finish the last thing of the 5 things you need to know. And, of course, that was John Wick, Chapter 3, knocked Avengers out of the box office. Quite a deal. Have you seen the John Wick movies, Shane?
Oh yeah, number 1 and 2, they were great.
John Wick gets shot 200 times at least in each movie and still beats the hell out of these guys that are perfectly healthy.
Not only that, but he kills 400 guys doing it.
I was going to say, if you take a drink every time Wick kills somebody, you better have a case of scotch.
Yeah, you go to one of those VIP theaters, you're in deep trouble. You won't get through the first half hour of the movie.
Oh.
No, but Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Keanu Reeves.
It's a great genre.
Yeah.
And, he's done a really good job with it. And the storylines are really good. But the best thing about the shows are the dialogue. There's really good dialogue.
I know, yeah. Pretty good, yeah. Yeah, I've seen the first 2, and I'm ready for this one. And, the first one did $29 million. This one did 57, I guess. So, he had a massive opening this week, and the first one brought in $14 million in 2014, and then the second one $30 million. This one brought in 57 first weekend, so not bad at all. So they probably got their money back out of those. So, but so.
Well, he's done well. He's done well with them too because he signed in as a producer. So that's where the big bucks are.
He's going to get some back end stuff out of this. So, well, the only thing I tell you is don't mess with his dog.
That's or his car.
Or his car. Yeah, don't mess with his dog or his car.
You can blow up his house, and blow every window out, but not the dog or the car.
Not the dog or the car. Yeah, that's where you go.
And that's not giving anything away.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. From our text line, I can't read half of this. The so-called Israelis are really European Ashkenazis who are probably Caucasian Khazars displaced by the Viking Russians. So I guess
Wow. If he wrote that on Facebook, they'd throw him off.
Well, I probably would. I don't know. Some other things in the news that kind of shocked me. Indonesia had an election. 270 election officials or staff die counting the votes.
I know, it's incredible, and not only that, but they died from being overworked.
Yeah.
From exhaustion. Right?
Yeah.
The week before India had an election, they had 92 million people on that because they also did it by paper.
Yeah, they do it. They do it all by hand. Yeah, they do it all by hand. So
they all like Canada, with a golf pencil.
Yeah. 80% of the 193 million eligible voters cast their votes in more than 800,000 polling stations. 80% of the vote. Can you imagine what our government would look like if 80% of the people turned out to vote?
It would be
staggering. And they were informed voters?
Oh yeah, exactly. It was 62%, right? So.
Oh, well, whatever, yeah. But more than 270 election workers in Indonesia have died, mostly from fatigue-related illnesses caused by long hours of work, counting millions of ballot papers by hand.
Wow.
Said, wow. And another 1,878 fallen ill. So some 7 million people were helping count and monitor the vote.
Yeah, it's wow. Well, and it covers, they were people, 245,000 candidates, 245,000 contesting a total of 20,000 seats in local, regional, and national legislatures.
Yeah,
that's a lot of politicians, and we complain.
I would say that's a lot. I would.
That's a lot.
Here's one for Jeff Krause. Well, Jeff Krause won't be in tomorrow. He'll be back after Memorial Day. So this is one for Jeff Krause. Would you kindly fix the road I was already taxed to fix, so I'm not causing damage to the car I am taxed annually to drive, which I purchased with the income you already taxed, which sits in the driveway of my home, which is highly taxed.
So with all those add-ons, hell,
we'll go with that one, won't we?
Okay. Yeah, we will, yeah.
Well, China, we've got plans going on with them, and China has decided they're going to rank its citizens on their social credit. And what is that?
Yeah, and I just want to say this real quick, and then you can read on.
Yeah.
Folks, this is important what Tom's going to read, because this is the whole thing about the algorithm that Google's drawing up for. So go ahead.
Yeah, it could be.
It is.
Right. Well, if you're not socially into China, if you're not a good China citizen, in other words, the China state is setting up vast ranking system that will monitor the behavior of its population and rank them according to their social credit. So, for instance, some things. Your social credit could ban you from flying or getting on a train. It could slow down your internet speed. It could ban you or your kids from the best schools. It could stop you from getting the best jobs. It could keep you out of the best hotels. It could get your dog taken away from you. Good thing John Wick's not Japanese or Chinese.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You can be publicly named a bad citizen, and the list goes on and on. But all of these things that this is what China's doing right now. They're gonna have a kind of a creepy caste system.
That's right, and it falls all under. You're gonna love the name of this: China's National Development and Reform Commission.
Of course. Why would it be anything else? Of course.
Right.
Why not just call it the re-education of the Chinese to kowtow to Xi?
well, that's because they don't want people to remember Mao.
Oh, that's true. I guess
and associate Mao with Xi. Right?
I guess that's right. Yeah, Mao Xi, Mao Xi do.
Mao Xi do.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we got to duck out here, pay a couple bills. We'll be right back with more right after this. 26 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019, 38 degrees outside, and we've got a caller patiently waiting, talking with Shane on the line. So, caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Thank you. I just had a little comment on the last fellow talking about the taxes around here.
Sure.
And I would think that life is pretty taxing around here. We all enjoy the same amount of fun usually.
Yeah.
But that's all I got to say. Life is taxing.
Okay. It is taxing.
Right. Thanks, Tom.
Excellent.
Bye-bye.
Thank you much. Life is taxing, that's for sure.
It sure is, yeah.
What else can I tell you, man? Well, let's go to our text line because we've got a couple things over here. Obviously, when the red Chinese take your dog for a low social credit score, they eat it. And yeah, Chicago's new mayor, Lori Lightfoot, is light in the loafers. All right. Well, that I guess she is. So.
Well, yeah, she's an acknowledged
openly gay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Openly gay. Thank you. I'm trying to think of what are the appropriate words to use for that now.
We don't need no stinking political correctness here.
Okay. Right.
Well, the Morehouse College seniors got a big surprise Sunday rather, when billionaire investor Robert Smith announced during his commencement speech that he would pay off the student loan debt for the historically black college's graduating class. How about that?
Yeah, well, I can understand why. He's part of Vista Equity Partners, for those of you that want to know. Yeah. It's a private equity firm, started in 2000, 19 years ago. Its headquarters is Austin, Texas. And they have 3 offices, and they have about $43 billion in cumulative capital commitments. And they own over 50 software companies and have 65,000 employees worldwide.
Yeah.
Now, Morehouse is more interesting. It was created by William Jefferson White in 1867. It's a African black men's college only. And so he went there, and as expressions of his appreciation, because he has a degree in engineering, chemical engineering, he decided to announce when he was giving the graduation speech that, this last weekend, he's going to pay for everyone's college fees, which, that's pretty terrific when you consider. I think there's 2,000 students enrolled, and I think the graduating class was like 460. That's a big ticket.
Yeah, they were saying it would probably cost about $40 million.
Yeah, and their endowment fund's $135 million. So there you go.
Smith's the richest black person in the U.S. with a net worth of $5 billion, according to Forbes. Yes, he's richer than Oprah.
Yes, he is.
Believe it or not. And he's the son of educators who started his career as chemical engineer at Goodyear and Kraft. He attended business school at Columbia University, went on to make a fortune off investing in the technology sector, worked for Goldman Sachs before starting Vista Equity in 2000.
There you go. And Morehouse's motto is Et facta est lux, which means in Latin, and there was light.
Okay.
So it will shine greatly at this year's celebrations because of this good philanthropist's work, and another example of what makes America great. People giving away.
Yeah. Well, from our text line, 478-8298, now all the millennials will think they will be saved by a knight in shining armor. Well, they might, How much money does Harvard have, Shane?
$22 billion.
I was going to say, they ought to be able to pay off some student loans with some of that.
That's right. And they say, depending on the day of the week, $27 billion.
Yeah. So now you're going to, I will go back to when I was on the board of United Way. They had an award for people who gave $10,000 to United Way. And, we were all out trying to scrounge around for $10,000 and whatever. And finally, one person gave $10,000 and got this award. After that, it's like the 4-minute mile. Everybody is now giving $10,000 to United Way. It's come out of the woodwork because, so-and-so gave it. Well, I got to prove I'm at least equal or better than him or her, so I got to pump up the $10,000 as well, and that's what they did. So, from our text,
it reminds me of sitting in St. Pius Catholic Church in Billings, Montana.
Yeah.
And every year they would release at Easter the amount of donations each family had given the church.
Oh, man.
Yes.
How cheap are you, huh?
Exactly.
Oh, man. Talk about confession in reverse.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Here's time to make up.
That's bad. That's a horrible thing to do. What if you pay any more than your 10%. I mean, come on.
I guess that the tith wasn't big enough.
Wow. All right, I got to take a break and think about that.
Okay, think about that one. All right, good.
Yeah. We'll be right back right after this. 15 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Monday, May 20th, 2019, 38 degrees outside. Shaman Hobbin, half man, half amazing, and Cantaloupe, and Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor here in Bozeman, and you're on the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. From our text line, 478-8298, women in sensible shoes. I'm not sure what that refers to, Shane, but...
Me neither.
Yeah,
we haven't talked about women's shoes in a long time.
I know we haven't. All right. What about the kids that work their way through college without a student loan? What do they get? Maybe something.
That's pretty good.
Well, the other thing that came to mind for these students, Shane, is they could now use student loans to pay for a master's or a doctorate.
That's correct.
If they've got their others paid off.
That's correct. They could continue on.
Yeah, continue on their education with the original loan they had that they could handle, hopefully, and get into the higher echelon of payment. And,
well, the other thing, too, is that only half the cost of going to school is the fees to pay to go to college. The other half is living and food.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's the biggest part of it.
I'm not sure he's paying for the other half.
You don't think he's paying the whole deal?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Nope. I think he's paying for their tuition.
Well, I don't know. According to everything that says here, he's paying the full ride.
Oh, is he? Okay, because I was reading the article. I didn't, I don't know.
Well, it was $40 million for 400 students.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I think it insinuated that he's paying not just this year's costs, though, right? Like, I think that he's paying all of their. Anyway, I'll dig deeper.
Yeah, for this year. Well, according to everything that they've been saying on the news, is that for this year, these students, he's paying the full ride for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, other years, who knows?
Well, that's right. But what I'm saying is I think that he's going to pay their accumulated fees for going to the school is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know.
They're all. I mean, the average is.
Well, that'd be pretty chintzy. That's pretty chintzy for a billionaire.
$35,000. So $35,000 times $450,000, or 450 is about right.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, but $35,000 is would more than likely be housing and whatever else you got in there too. I would think.
You'll have to check it out. Yeah. I will dig deeper.
Dig deep, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure that
big dive.
I don't think he's. I don't think this is some kind of token payment. I think it's a full. I think it's a full ride.
Okay.
Because he's talking about fueling their bus, and fueling their bus wouldn't include no room and board. So I don't know. Well, we'll see anyway. Whatever's coming up. So. But if it is the full thing, let me see what it says here. On behalf of the 8th generation of my family who've been in this country, we're going to put a little fuel in your bus, he told the newly minted graduates in Atlanta. The announcement was met with a standing ovation of MVP. Now I know my class will make sure they pay this forward. I want my class to look at these alumni, these beautiful Morehouse brothers, and let's make sure every class has the opportunity going forward, because we're enough to take care of our own community. We're enough to ensure that all opportunities of the American dream. The exact amount to be covered for the 396 students is still being calculated, school president David Thomas told CNN, but the sum will likely be in the tens of millions of dollars. Thomas calls Smith's gesture a libertarian gift. When you have to service debt, the choices about what you go do in the world are constrained, he said. Smith gives them the liberty to follow their dreams and their passions. So I don't see anything that says he's not doing the full thing. So I guess we'll find out. Let's see. Epps said that he had about $35,000 in student loan debt, and that his parents in Pleasant had pledged to help him pay off. He couldn't wait to break the news to them. So,
okay, well, I deep dived while the phone was being redialed, and I went to Morehead College. So, annual prices, the annual list price to attend Morehead College on a full-time basis, 2017-18, is $48,723 for all students, regardless of their residency. This fee is comprised of $25,050, $5 for tuition, $13,557 room and board, $2,088 for books and supplies, and $2,223 for other fees. So, $50,000 a person.
Wow. Okay. There we go. Well, I guess we'll find out what's going to happen with this as it goes on. Anyway, he said he was going to create a grant that would pay this off. So it'll
it'll be like
it'll be like an annuity or something like that. I would think more than likely. So, all right.
Correct.
All right, we got to do the Rush update and some other things, so stay tuned. Here's Rush. 3 minutes before the top of the hour, it is Monday, May 20th, 2019, 38 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the mid-40s today, and Shane and Tom on the line with me from Vancouver. Whoops, not in Vancouver, he's in Cantaloupe. How long are you in Cantaloupe all week, or just...
No, I'm going home tonight.
Oh, going home tonight, okay, all right. Well, we got a caller on the line that Shane's been brainwashing, so let's see if it took. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tom, this is Tony.
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Yeah, I want to give hats off to Morehead College. That was a great story.
Yeah.
You were commenting. I just want you to know, Tom, he was commenting, the caller, about how Americans are remarkable.
Yeah.
How the media is trying to break it up, and that Americans, when you read a story like this, which is heartwarming, because Americans do great things every day.
Right. Amen to that. Yeah. Well, it is a great story. I wonder how many others. I'm thinking Steve Jobs could have certainly pulled this off. Bill Gates certainly could have. I'm wondering if some of these billionaire convention or commencement speakers will step up to the plate like this Smith guy did.
Yeah, I think that's great that somebody actually stepped up.
Yeah.
Because Americans are great. We're not racist. We're not stingy. And the rich people, when I was growing up a long time ago, people told me, don't talk down to the rich people because they make jobs for us, and they can do great things for our country. And when I saw that, I went, that is the greatest thing I've seen in the longest time.
I was going to say that, not all rich people are honest, and, I'll be the first to admit that. But still in all, we always looked at, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you looked at successful people. You didn't look at, the bum sleeping in a cardboard box on the corner.
Right, exactly.
You looked at somebody who, worked hard and made it in life, so what's the deal?
Yeah, you've said it before. No poor man ever gave me a job.
Exactly right, yeah.
Yeah.
And
well, thanks, Tom. I was really proud of that guy for standing up.
And me too, yeah. Excellent.
And I hope he follows through, and that's going to mean a lot, and I hope other people start doing it too.
Well, I think he may have given some people an idea. So, I hope so too. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Shane.
All right, take care.
All right.
Goodbye now. Goodbye, Mayor. We'll talk tomorrow a.m. from Vancouver. Be happy, be safe, everyone. God bless.
All right. Thanks, Shane. All right. Let's see, one last thing here from our, if I've got it up here, our text line. 40 million divided by 400 is $1,000 per student. So that's from our text line 478-8298. All right, that wraps it up for us. My good friend Aaron Flynn is up next, and Montana Talks, and Rush and Sean and Mark and all the regulars will be here. So we hope you'll spend your whole day with KMMS. And we'll see everybody bright and early, 6 a.m. tomorrow.